I told my landlord I couldn't pay rent. I braced for the worst, but instead he looked at me in the eye and ripped the papers in half. That moment still gives me chills. So let me take you back to, oh my God, how long has it been? Like maybe 10 years now, a little bit longer. I was living in LA, in Hollywood, and I used to live with a lot of my friends from Switzerland. And I remember most of them felt like they want to go back to Switzerland. And I was stuck in that big apartment with all these bills to pay myself, well, me and Robin. And I remember I had this dream for this Cleopatra cat eye stamp that we invented. And to be able to do this, we had to invest a lot of money, even for the prototype, which cost me, I think, around $200, which shout out to Susan, my neighbor, and shout out to my best friend Ty, that they gave me the money to be able to, create my first 3D prototype for the Cleopatra cat eye stamp. But anyway, I remember I had this dream to create the Cleopatra cat eye stamp, and I had no money. And I knew, and I think like I was always this type of person that if I want something, I really go after it. And I don't really think about the consequences. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. But this time I just had a feeling like this is exactly what I need to be doing. And again, I had no money. Like I had no money to really eat. I had no money to pay rent, to pay bills or anything. I literally just had this one freaking dream to get this Cleopatra cat eye stamp going. But when everyone left and it was me and Robin, this big apartment, all these bills, I had to make a decision. Do I, you know, go through the consequences of not paying anything to achieve my dreams? Or am I going to stop, find a job, or move back to Switzerland and live a normal life? Of course, I decided that I want to go after my dreams. I mean, excuse me, who am I if I don't do that? So I stopped paying rent. I started to hide from the manager. I started to hide from everyone that wanted money from me in that moment because I knew that I don't have it. And I knew if I give energy to this, to paying all of my bills, I will lose my vision on where I need to be. So I stopped. I stopped taking his phone calls. I didn't open the door when he knocked on the door. I literally just vanished, if you think about it. It was so weird, but I just couldn't look him in the eye. He knew though what I am doing. Like he knew that I created this cat eye stamp, this eyeliner, and that I'm going to go after it. But then I didn't really talk to him much anymore because I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed knowing that he had my back all these years for me to say to him, I cannot pay you. I just didn't know how. I just had no idea how to tell him that so many people left me with all of these bills. And yes, I take responsibilities because it's my life, my choices, but I just couldn't look at him and disappoint him. So instead, I just worked really hard on the cat eye stamp. And one day I was walking my dogs and then I came home and I believe I saw like a notice, like a, what is it called? Like eviction notice. And that's when I knew, oh my God, that's real. Like now it's really real. And I still don't have the money to pay. So I see this notice and now I'm starting to really panic because I'm like, great, I'm going to lose the apartment and I'm still not done with creating this freaking eyeliner because it took me 2 years to make this one prototype, which one day I will talk about it. So back then my mom was in LA visiting me as well because she knew we had no money, so she would buy food and pay some bills and like support me as much as she could. And I called the manager of the company and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "Look, you've been avoiding me. You have not been speaking to me. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I was able to have your back if you're not communicating with me. My fault." Again, responsibility on me. He said, I can't remember if he said if you can come to the office now or tomorrow so, I can speak to the owner of the building. And I asked my mom to come with me and we drive to my landlord's office, which was like, I don't know, like 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes away from where I lived. And I remember I was sitting in that car driving, my mother next to me, and I had so much anxiety and fear and embarrassment that I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue how this is going to turn out. Because again, I was not communicating with anyone. And that was the dumbest mistake I could have done. But in my heart, I was like, I know what I'm doing. I have to do it. I know it's going to change my life. I know it's going to make my life so much better. I know I'm going to be able to pay it all back. I just need time. So I parked my car right in front of the office. And I said to my mom, like, just wait here. I'm sure it's not going to be that long. I'll be right back. So I walk upstairs to the office and my heart was pounding so fast. I felt like I'm going to pass out. I sit there, sweaty, scared, alone, waiting for them to walk in. They come in, they sit down. The owner goes, "What happened? What's going on?" And I start crying because I had no idea. Oh, I can tear up again because I had no clue what to say. It's okay. Give me 1 second. Yes. So, whew, crazy. All right. Let me. Sucks. I feel like it's like just happened yesterday. So, anyway, I sit there and I start crying. And I said to him, I said, "Look, everyone left me and left me with the bills, and I have no money. And you know that this is what I'm working on. I'm trying to have my own company. I'm trying to have my own brand, and it's not easy. I thought it's going to be easy, but it's not, and I'm struggling." And I was just explaining the whole situation. Um, and in that moment, like the owner of the building, he leaned back, he just looked at me, and he asked me, he said, "Is this what you want to do? Like, is building this brand, is this what you want to do in your life?" I said, "Yes. That's all I know right now is that's all I want is to have my own brand." And he looks and he was nodding. Is that how you said it? Yeah, he was nodding. And he looked at me again. And he took this paper. I can't remember if it was like an invoice or a bill or any, like some paper he took. And he said, "Do you promise me that you're going to be one of the biggest brands out there? Do you promise me that you're not going to stop until achieve your dreams? Do you? And I looked at him and I said, yes. With everything I have, with every power in me, that's what I want to achieve. So he tear apart the paper, and he said to me, look, I'm going to take the deposit that you gave us, but you can go. You don't owe me anything. And I don't know what to tell you and how it felt, but I just remember he was like, he forgave me thousands of dollars. And I had to promise him that with everything I have, that I will achieve my dreams. I walked outside. First of all, I hugged all of them. I think we even had a drink because he had kind of like a bar, or I don't know, like he had alcohol in his office. And he was like, "Do you want a drink?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want a drink." And then my poor mom was sitting in the car, but don't worry, it was running and the AC was going, so she was good. So I come outside and I had again tears in my eyes, and I explained it to my mom, and she was like just thanking God over and over and over again. And why am I telling you this story? In one of my episodes, I talk about that there's days where you're going to fall and you're going to lose, and you maybe lose everything, or you're not having anyone in your life in that moment and you feel alone. But then there comes this one or two human beings who see you, not your dreams, not your vision, but you as a human being. They look at you, they hug you, and you don't feel alone. And that's what I experienced. And so, no matter what you're going through right now, I know how hard it must feel and be. But please know, if you have faith, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in yourself, it is going to be worth it and you will get out of this situation. I'm telling you this. I promise you. If I can get out of my situations, I promise you, you can too. Please, for the love of God, believe me when I tell you this. I haven't seen the manager and the owners in a very long time, actually, but I'm planning on hopefully next year to go see them and, be able to give them back what they gave me. So, yeah.